Hello, North Country soccer fans, and welcome. It is soccer season 2019. Let me get to that, Calvin.
Soccer preseason.
Calvin's,
It's not soccer
he's
season.
anxious. He won't let me do my intro here. It is preseason. We're at the George Brendler Field. Calvin Castine on the camera. I got Lee Barcombe with me. I'm Joey Trombley. And this is what they call a friendly before the season starts. And the Eagles come out strong, and it was Hansen taking the shot, but it was the goalie Bolson for Northeastern comes up big. And I did say Northeastern, Lee. I talked about Northeastern being on the George Brendler Field, and it's been quite a while since these two teams have met before.
It's true. They're in different classes, Northeastern Class B, Chazy Class D, and with the restrictions that you have on number of games you can play in a season, really the only way to work it out for these two teams to face each other is in a scrimmage like we have tonight. It's been nearly 22 years since the last meeting between these two teams. The last meeting was on September 1st, 97 at in the opening round of the Pizza Hut tournament, Northeastern Clinton's tournament. Northeastern came out 2-1 victory in double overtime. Chazy had a goal at 36-12 of the first half, scored by John Lauren, assisted by Pat McAuliffe. There's a couple names for you. And Northeastern answered right away, 38-43 of the first half, Scott Morelli with the assist going to Aaron Coulombe. And then Aaron Coulombe scores the game winner at 8:19 of the second overtime period, assisted from Scott Morelli. Goalkeepers for that match, Terry Lapierre for Chazy, 19 saves. Tyson Dumas for Northeastern Clinton with 9 saves.
And that was the last time they've played up to this point.
Correct, yeah.
Now, they played a couple times prior to that, though, didn't they?
Well, they've played many times over the year, but the most recently they played again in 96, again in the Pizza Hut tournament in the championship that year. Northeastern Clinton came out 1-0 victory over Chazy. Real nice goal with about 16 minutes left in the second half by Dustin Marr. He beat Terry Lapierre for the game winner. There was Chazy had a good opportunity off the crossbar after that, but Shane Dutil was the goalkeeper for Northeastern Clinton. He got the clean sheet with 12 saves, Terry Lapierre with 11 for Chazy.
And they met one other time prior to that.
One other time in modern time, I guess you could say, in 95, in that, I believe, the same tournament. This, again, Northeastern Clinton comes out on top. 3-1 this time. Northeastern goal scorers were Chris McComb, Ryan Rivard, and Josh Gooley. And Chazy goal scorer was Casey O'Connor. Same goalkeeper for Chazy, Terry Durf Lapierre, 19 saves, and Shane Dutil with 10 for Northeastern Clinton.
So it's amazing to me when you brought those stats up tonight that it had been 22 years that these two teams, because it was such a rivalry back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, I asked a few questions to some contemporaries of my time, and I graduated in 91, and to find out if any of I don't remember playing Northeastern Clinton in my varsity years. I asked Joe Colombe, who graduated in 1990. He says he remembers playing him in a scrimmage. So that's, we're back in the 80s again, before it was fairly regular, probably before they played. And that was, in the classes were all different back then.
And I think to put it in perspective for the current players, that rivalry was as big as Chazy and Elizabethtown Lewis, which is now Boquete Valley. But that rivalry was as big, if not bigger than that rivalry, or Northeastern and NAC.
Right, yeah. It's different times, of course, now, but it's nice to see these two teams back on the same field, and it's going to be a competitive, and as we mentioned a couple times already, a scrimmage. So there's going to be lots of movement among the lines. Both coaches are just trying to figure out who's going to fit best to start their season. Chazy tournament starts Thursday. Northeastern Clinton tournament, I think, is Thursday also, right, Calvin? Do you know?
Yes.
So both of them start, and Northeastern they're playing Johnsburg. There was a merge with sports-wise.
Yeah,
is it Minerva?
I believe yes, Minerva Johnsburg, because
Okay.
Newcomb is all alone this year.
Okay.
Now whether they'll be able to field the team is another story. I don't know. They're on the schedule, so we'll see. Another question mark I found out last night is whether or not Seton Catholic will be able to field the boys team this year.
Oh, really?
Their numbers are very, very low. And
We're in the Northeastern tournament.
they are in the Northeastern tournament. Yes, they are. So that could throw a monkey wrench into the plans of that tournament. I don't know if they have a backup plan. I believe Chattagay is the other team that's in that tournament.
Well, and Coach Nick Trombley says he has most of his players back, and he likes what he has coming back this year. And on the flip side, Rob McAuliffe lost what, 8 starters?
Yeah, really incredible, polarizing opposites as far as returning players and loss of players. Northeastern lost 5 players that I could tell off their roster, and they returned nearly all of their leading scorers along with their goalkeeper. Reed LaValle was their leading scorer, 7 goals and 3 assists, followed by Ryan O'Donnell, 6 goals and 1 assist, and Chase Ross, 4 goals and 5 assists. Bolson had 103 saves and 3 shutouts while giving up 26 goals. Their record was 8-8, so they were a 500 team, and the goals for, goals against showed the same. They had 27 goals for, 26 goals against. But they'll be a much improved team this year.
Sure, and then of course last year's team, which was they're now the 2-time state champions, they were coming into the season last year having to revamp the whole defensive line back there other than the goalie.
Yeah, Chazy and Rob did a masterful job, of course, as he usually does. Coach McAuliffe was able to put together another winning lineup last year. But as Joey just mentioned, 8 starters lost to graduation for Chazy. Their only returning starters are Riley Hansen, who incidentally was the Final Four MVP. I mean, pretty darn good player. So him, Heath Lucas, again, stalwart player for Chazy, one of the most talented kids in the area, and Tanner Connors returns for Chazy as well. And everybody else comes from the JV squad.
Right, and and in goal, we do have a seasoned player, but he played back up to Ben Norcross.
He did. He got some game action last year. Rob was careful to do that and get him some time. He had 20 saves. He recorded 3.5 shutouts on the season, and gave up 2 goals. So a lot of those shutouts were half shutouts, and in which time he'd play part of the game, maybe one half of the game, and so forth. But here's a nice move there. That's number 12. That's Reed LaValle. He's your leading scorer last year for Northeastern Clinton.
Okay, and then now Rob hasn't even handed out the uniforms yet for the Chazy players. And again, I don't think Northeastern really has their uniforms yet. It's because it's a friendly.
Yeah, the roster I have for Northeastern I got off the Section 7 Athletics website, and it was updated as of August 26th, it said so. Fairly recent. I'm hoping that all the numbers are accurate, and I apologize if they're not.
Okay, so we have Pennington sends the ball up to Ryan O'Donnell, and O'Donnell had 6 goals and an assist last year, so he knows how to finish for the Cougars. And the ball comes back into the defensive zone of the Cougars. So a game like this, they're going to be filling each other out. There's not going to be, I don't think, a lot of intensity in this game.
Well, it's probably, you're probably right. They're going to need to ramp it up pretty quick though, because these preseason tournaments are pretty. They're time for you as a player to make a name for yourself. You want to open the coach's eyes and show him, yeah, I'm willing to go through a wall for you. And that's really important for young players, especially fighting for a starting job.
Well, far side ball goes out of bounds, and it's Colby Drake will take the throw in for Chazy. And I'll tell you, Lee and Calvin, it feels good to be back here in the George Brendler Field up in the press box. And it is a beautiful night for a soccer game. Of course, it is late August, but that's kind of the norm when we start the soccer season. We're in our shorts.
Yeah.
And as we know, by the end of the season, we're dressed much differently.
Mid-70s, breeze is going from our backs across toward the bleachers.
But Rob will be in his shorts.
Rob will be in his shorts, yes.
Now, here's an interesting thing. I watched the 96 game on Hometown Cable, on the Hometown Cable Network that I talked about. Rob was wearing khaki pants and a polo shirt. So that's how old that's about how long it's been since they played. I think it was his second year or first year coaching.
Well, he's trying to look like Tregan back then.
And another thing was...
so after Tregan left, he got his own identity.
Exactly. So another thing was Bill Chase was doing the play-by-play, and he had refereed the game prior. And so he was up there, and he was trying to gain support from the Athletic Association, Northeastern Clinton. He was bragging that he donated his $16 mileage pay back to the Athletic Association, and they should be giving him something in return for that. I thought it was great. I laughed so hard when I saw that. Oh, here's an opportunity.
Chance for Chazy, and it's cleared out. I didn't even recognize Riley Hansen tonight, Lee.
No, yeah, he cut his hair, and he's gotten a bit taller over the summer. He's an athlete, so he's obviously in good shape, and these guys a lot of them played over the summer.
Well, and like you said, he was the state champion MVP.
Yeah, Final Four MVP.
You don't get much better than that, other than winning the state championship.
Especially as a sophomore, I believe. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
So he's a junior this year. Dallas Santor, this is going to be one of the potential starting fullbacks. Again, all new fullbacks. Dallas Santor, Connor McCarthy, who had a nice start last year. He was
Right.
filling in for McLean Dudiak, I believe.
Right.
He's going to be a sweep this year, at least to start out with. Tanner Connors,
Is gonna be the stopper.
He played there in the Final Four. There was a late season switch Rob made, and he moved Alex Chapman back to sweep and Tanner Connors to stopper.
So you got Colby Drake on the
And
left
Colby
fullback.
Drake on the left.
And who's on the near fullback position?
This is Dallas Santor, number 14.
Dallas Santor. Okay.
Who are the refs?
And the refs tonight, well, we have near is Sean Rogers, and on the far side we have Jim Varon. And something we noticed this year with the officials, Lee, is they have headpieces.
Yeah,
So they can talk back and
They
forth.
can talk back and forth and communicate with offsides or disciplinary reasons, that sort of thing. Substitutions, you don't have to yell across the field if the horn's not working. There's a good chance.
Yeah, well, here's a chance for the Cougars. There it is. Oh, what a save by Huckrow, and a nice hard shot by Hunter LaValle. Well, Huckrow stood his ground, and so a great opportunity for the Cougars, probably the best opportunity of the night that we've seen. And coming up here, Lee, we were talking, definitely a change this year in the final 5 minutes of the game, which we agree is probably not a bad change.
New rule going into effect in high school soccer. In the last 5 minutes of the game, the team that's ahead in the score, if they decide to make a substitution, the referee will stop the clock, so there's no chance for time wasting in that.
And let's be realistic, all the good coaches would waste the time.
Of course, it's an age-old tactic that's been used, as long as I can recall. So
As long as we've been born.
yeah, exactly.
Well, maybe not that long, Calvin.
Tie game, no timeout.
As far as I know, yeah, there's no reason to waste time in a tie game unless you're playing for the tie, I guess.
Right. So in a tie game, there is they don't stop the clock.
We'll have to confirm at halftime, but I don't believe they do.
Okay.
Huckrow with another save down there. So LaValle had that opportunity, and maybe some nerves. He tried to shoot that ball through the net. If he could just taken his time a bit, maybe placed to one side or the other,
Right.
he would have beaten Huckrow because he was penalty striper in closer.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful
Not a
pass.
save. That was
No,
not a save.
that wasn't a save. That went off the
That
side.
went offside?
No,
Okay.
yeah, it was.
I saw him dive. I thought he got a piece of it.
Unless they change the rule, you have a goal kick on the save now.
Well, there's all kind of rule changes this year,
Yeah,
Calvin.
if
We
the
just
ball
we
goes out
just
of
can't
bounds.
we just can't keep up with it. So you talked about Joey Anders
Dion Darza.
D. Andarza, strong player for the JVs last year for Chazy.
Yeah, one of the better players on the JV squad last year. Scored a ton of goals, got good speed, really good speed, and good foot skills. He's here on the right wing for Chazy in the dark colored green. Doesn't have a number on his back. Good defensive work there by number 17.
Yeah.
That is Lucas Bedard for Northeastern Clinton. There. Here's Hansen. In the middle, Luke Moser, who is an 8th grader, I believe. For Chazy.
Chazy.
For Chazy. Either 8th or 9th. I don't have the grades.
52.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's James Moser's son.
Okay.
James was a great
Well,
player
he was
for
a great
Chazy.
player for Chazy.
Yep.
As they say back in the day.
98 graduate, I believe.
Was he 98? So Chazy comes back with definitely their 1-2 punch with Hansen and Lucas. There's no doubt there. And then they got Reed LaValle, but you look at the scores for Northeastern. They're big scores, but none of them were in double digits. But they only scored 27 goals. There was a chance. And nice play by Huckrow.
Punched over the top. That was Luke Anktil with that shot, I believe. Yeah, Northeastern had an up and down season. They didn't have anybody that really jumped out last year, and probably more of a spread attack, I guess, than like Chazy had Tristan Connors and Riley Hansen battling for the leading score all year. They pretty much were neck and neck with each other. I think one had 26 and one had 27 goals.
Mm-hmm.
This year they won't have that.
Well, here's the corner. And cleared out by McCarthy. Nice job by McCarthy. You saw his patience in the box, and he cleared it right out. All right, so that was Moser.
Yep.
Trying to get it over to Hansen.
One last run.
So you got Luke Anktil sending it down the line onto the feet of Ross. Chase Ross trying to send it across.
Nice
And
block
it
by
goes
Dan
on
Darza.
Dean Darza.
Hunter, you're going central.
So we have Michael Pennington checking back into the game. And it looks like it's going to be a deep throw-in for the Cougars. It'll be Luke Anktil.
Who's that ball girl over
Take
there?
She's running late. Running late. Of course, there's.
No, she was the ball girl. She's there already.
Oh, did she get the ball to him?
Yeah.
Well, you know, she was an athlete in her day. Back in the day.
Who is she?
Who would that woman be there, Calvin? Should I know her?
I don't know.
I think they
Maybe
call
she's a Chazy graduate.
I think they call her Maggie. I think so.
McCarthy did a nice clearing attempt there. He's hobbled a bit by it. He is a bit knocked up this early on in this training camp, if you will. First corner kick of the match. Second.
No, second one. It's the second. And Huckrow comes out and does a nice job. You could see that Bedard wanted to get his foot on that because he saw Huckrow out of the net, but he couldn't get his foot to it. So coming into the season, I mean, they just literally started preseason last week. So 1 week of running. Do you think most of these guys were working off season to get in shape for preseason?
I do know they had men's league soccer this summer as they have been around here for quite a while, and I know a number of these players did play that men's league.
And plus, they also had the high school summer league too, I think.
I think so. I know the women did, or the girls did. I don't know if the boys did, but I assume so. I would be surprised. You know, there's the odd few players that have to work during the summer, and that's understandable. Maybe they couldn't get as much field time in as they'd like, but a lot of these players are in great shape coming in just because of that.
Well, the reality is, after the state championship last year, probably 2 weeks later, they're playing indoor soccer.
Yeah, all through the winter, indoor soccer, and then once the snow clears, they're outside. Once again, here's Lucas, who's a really good ball server.
Nice feed inside, goes by the goalie, and that's going to be a corner kick. So for a seasoned goalie like Bolson, that got through his hands, and I'm sure he's not happy with himself on that one.
No, but again, it's scrimmage time, and
Right.
He's getting his bearings, and there's no sun to speak of, so we can't blame it on that. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He had a pretty good year last year.
Oh, I'm not
No, I
being
know,
disparaging
no,
to the
I
young
know.
man. I'm just saying he's an athlete, a competitor. You know that would bother him.
I'm sure.
There's the shot.
Dwyer trying to get his head on it, cleared
Okay.
away.
Good pickup. I was trying to, without any numbers, I'm kind of useless
It's
up
tough.
here
Yeah,
until I
I
see
believe that was Patrick Dwyer.
I think you're right.
Quick startup.
Yeah, quick. Here it comes. It's gonna be another corner kick.
14 on this side. Luke Anktil.
And so is that the JV match going over there?
It is. Yeah, JV boys are playing over there.
Northeastern, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Lucas Dusso, far post.
The JVs play nearly every year. Two schools.
Rob's probably saving the short corner for the games this weekend. Oh, far side, just off the head of Hansen. But if this would have been 5 months ago, that puppy would have been in the back of the net.
Quite likely.
As he did twice, as we saw.
Yep, in the Final Four.
Well, last time we were together, Lee, was a state championship game back in
That's right.
November.
That's right. Absolutely. So fourth corner kick in a row. You're getting their practice in on these.
Yeah.
And Coach Trombley can't be pleased about this. You don't want to give up because eventually it's going to burn you.
Well, you think, yeah, percentage-wise, they're eventually going to drop in. There you go.
Nice punch
Right,
out.
beautiful play.
What they're doing is practicing defending the corner kicks.
Oh, okay.
It's all part of the game,
It's all
the
part of the
scrimmage
game.
plan. All part of the scrimmage plan.
Oh, well, you know, every coach has a different philosophy.
Yeah,
and that,
here you
yeah,
scrimmage, so you're practicing defending the
Right.
corner kick.
those set plays, right, Calvin?
Yeah.
And I think we can agree, Lee, last year was probably one of the best Chazy teams that took advantages of set plays.
And early on, Coach McAuliffe had said it in his recollection, the best team that he's had for
Set plays.
for set plays, free kicks, that sort of thing. And Heath Lucas was a big part of that, and
Sure he was.
he's returning.
Well, on the far side is Bedard, Marcus Bedard for the Cougars. He's this is last year's roster.
That's
So
current.
That is current. So
Yep.
he's a junior, okay. And if you look at his team, he doesn't have a lot of seniors on this team.
No, a lot of juniors again, similar to what Chazy girls have this year. A ton of juniors. And I'm not sure about the boys here, Chazy boys. I don't have the grades, but not many seniors on this boys team for Chazy.
All right, coming off is Luke Anktil. And we don't see a familiar face across the way on the bleachers. Usually you have Coach Brendler and Tregan. But, maybe they're still on the golf course, Calvin. It is
Could
in the
be.
summer.
But Jan Davis is here.
Well, Jan will never miss a game.
She's retired, but she's here.
Yes, she's officially retired now. So, what we've seen, we don't know
We're
the time.
midway through the first half.
Oh, they do have the clock. Okay, they got the clock going. Okay, so 20 minutes into this. And it's been a fairly evenly matched game. I'd probably give the edge of opportunity to the Cougars.
Yeah, they had that one really good opportunity that Huckrow made a nice save on.
Michael.
So you went to Northeastern Clinton, Joey?
I did. I
Do you remember
graduated
playing
in
against Chazy at all?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was quite a rivalry back then. Back in 78 would have been the final year because I graduated in 79. We actually played we beat Chazy here, and we tied them at Northeastern. And then it came. If you want to say the rubber match, it was we played at MAI Field with the lights, and it was. I think the game went into overtime. And we won that game 2-1, if I'm not mistaken. It was just good soccer from both teams. The Cougars came out on top that year, but Chazy had nothing to be ashamed of. Let's put it that way.
It's interesting. I'm starting a project to tabulate the all-time leading scorers for Chazy, and I got Coach Brendler's scorebooks that I'm starting to pour through and you record the stats and everything like that. So I'm seeing. We're in the early 60s now, and I'm seeing Moores and Champlain and
Sure.
St. Mary's and Ellenberg and Altona and these schools. So this is obviously before the merger that created Northeastern Clinton.
But in 77, Chazy dominated, and they beat Northeastern 4-0 both games here and at the field at Northeastern. And Chazy was just a very dominant team in 77. Then the Cougars got it in 78, but we're going back 41 years
That's
ago.
amazing. Right?
Aren't all the Brendler years available in Larry Gooley's book?
Probably are.
They are to some extent, but they don't have all the statistics. So I am using Larry Gooley's book as a reference as well.
Chase behind.
Tyler Gay working his way down, and again, who's the defensive player?
That's Dallas Santor.
Dallas Santor. Okay, I'll get used to that. But tomorrow, Lee, we're doing the game for Wiry for the girls, and of course maybe I play this before this gets. This will be on the internet tonight.
What?
Okay, so we're doing the girls, but it's going to be a kind of a wet. It's going to be a different night tomorrow night than what we're experiencing now.
Yeah, forecast for rain, and yesterday.
Heavy rain.
Yesterday, I was watching the girls scrimmage with Brian Norcross, and he said the field does need water, so and needed lines. We do have one of the officials last night complain because he couldn't see the lines, so Brian did the lines today.
Oh, really? Were the lines that bad last
Well,
night?
Brian said he did them Friday, but he said I also mowed the grass 5 times since then. So
Well,
that would make sense.
That would do it, yeah. When you're trying to get the field to Wimbledon type
Yeah, right.
finish,
I've
then
mowed my lawn only 3 times since Friday.
3 times.
Yeah, it's
3
all-
times this year, Calvin. I've been by your yard. Maybe 3 times this year. What are you talking about?
Hey, you bail it,
Yeah, you're used. You grew up baling this grass. We don't cut it.
Duso, be ready.
So here come the Eagles,
It's Reagan Dudiak.
and there's Dudiak. Okay, Reagan Dudiak's got some space. He's got some room, but coming on strong is number 17, Bedard. Bedard does a nice job recovering defensively and coming to help out, and he was helping out Lucas Duso. And but it's Heath Lucas sends the ball across and just misses the far post. And nice play by Heath Lucas from 21 yards out.
Nice little fake cut. Cuts back on the other opposite foot and fires it. Nice low hard shot. Looking for far post. He's, like I mentioned earlier, is one of the premierly talented young men in the area.
Well, I'd be surprised just in the whole area they aren't the 1-2 scoring duel this year, I would think. But I'm sure these other top-notch teams will want to have a say in that too.
For sure. There's Dan Darza out to Dudiak. Dudiak's got Hansen and couldn't get it through to him.
Go, go,
So we're looking at O'Donnell has it taken away by Joey D'Ardanza. So nice play by O'Donnell. McCarthy calling for it. Shipping up.
Good ball.
Nice play. So you have Lucas do so. And a handball on Dudiak.
Drop off. Where your head here?
Yeah, it'll be nice. Starting on Thursday, we have the nice finished rosters in numerical order.
I've been asking for him for a week now, and Rob apologized today again. He said, I'm sorry I don't have, I forgot to give the uniforms out. I've just been busy trying to get my lineup together. So I think tonight after the game, or tomorrow morning, they'll get their uniforms.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they probably will. And, of course, the change last year is the home team wears their darker uniform.
That's in effect again this year.
Right, I'm pretty sure, and it was because everybody's wearing their white uniforms and they wanted to showcase their school colors better, is my understanding.
Sure.
Which makes sense.
But other sports didn't do that.
Only soccer.
Yeah.
Well, soccer's premier soccer of the North Country. And Dudiak.
Views expressed to those of Joey.
Is it just me?
13 and a half minutes left, first half, no score here in this scrimmage.
Well, the scoreboard's not lying. There is no score up there.
Correct. That's one of the things too. People may not realize. Because it's a scrimmage, score can't be kept. They can't have a kickoff at center field. It has to be a start from one of the ends, whether it's a punt or a goal kick.
But isn't that like tomato?
It's semantics, but it doesn't count as one of those. I think it's 16 games you can play.
Right.
Between league and non-league games.
Well, you can play 18 if you have a couple friendlies. They got to be called friendlies. So you can't wear your normal uniforms. But one thing I haven't noticed a lot of, there hasn't been a lot of substitutions going on.
Not a ton, no. Everybody's. I think first half, both teams are probably wanting to see what their projected starters can do, and then sprinkle in their first off the bench kind of substitutions in and see what they're going to do.
So here come the Cougars.
Nice stick there by D'Ardanza again, but cleared away by Lucas Bedard.
So far side is Supernaw. Aiden Supernaw for the Cougars, sending the ball up. And one thing, of course we know it's early, but we aren't seeing the noticeable possession game that Chazy normally has.
No, trying to determine who's in the middle with Heath Lucas for Chazy, and it looks like right now it's Tanner Connors with DJ Gagnon probably filling in at the stopper position. And Gagnon was part-time goalkeeper for the JV team last year, and he'll be Chazy's backup goalkeeper this year.
Okay. So we're going to have a throw-in for the Cougars. It looks like Marcus Bedard going out for the Cougars for the throw-in. And taken away. It was a nice takeaway by Reed LaValle, but picked up by the Eagles. Toward midfield, picked up by Duso. Over to the far side to chase Ross. Ross cuts it to the inside. Lucas knocks it away. But it goes right back to the feet of Ross.
Owen out wide.
So the Cougars are moving it fairly nice on the ground right now.
Connect.
Hansen trying to flip it up over to Dudiak. Dudiak trying to get the through ball up over to Riley Hansen. So what grade would Reagan Dudiak be in?
I think he's a freshman.
Okay.
Maybe 10. I wish I knew for sure. He's probably 10th grade.
Okay. And that goes off of Hollister, and that's Owen Hollister.
There's Patrick Dwyer checking in for Jeremy Juneau. Patrick Dwyer came up at the end of last year.
He was called up, yeah.
He and Colby Drake were the two that were called up to to play through sectionals and state championships, so they got a lot of experience there.
Nice try by McCarthy trying to get the ball up over to Santor with his head.
We're pushing up the outside.
But it-
Up. Lucas, you're up. So you're up. You know, do so. You can be right here for an easy pass. Good, Aiden, right there.
Both teams appear to be in pretty good physical shape
Yeah.
out there. Nobody's dragging too badly.
No, not at all.
It's temperate night. It's not hot as it was last night when the girls had their first scrimmage. So
Yeah. Well, then tomorrow night, it becomes official because that's when the snack shack's open and Mickey fries are going
they're
strong.
doing some training over there tonight for some new.
I think so.
For some new people.
Well, you got Mickey Kahn over by that young cheerleader over there, that Maggie lady. The ball girl.
Behind you.
Nice move by Hansen on the far side, trying to get around Supernaw. Supernaw doing well to keep him on the outside.
So Dwyer sends it in. Dudiak trying to get the turn here. Cleared out. Nice play.
Marcus, I want you out wide on that and calling for it. Then Marcus,
So some nice
Marcus,
play here
go!
by the Cougars, controlling the ball, keeping it on the ground. And it's Pennington working his way up.
Switch through the central.
And you know that player you called the name? That's the towel player for
That's
the Eagles?
Gagno, DJ Gagno.
DJ Gagno.
Dale
Okay.
Gagno, Jr.
Yep, okay.
To the left striker. Back into him. You don't want to
McCarthy's strong back there. I like that move, putting McCarthy into that sweeper position.
And I believe he's a junior, so Chazy may have two solid years with him if he pans out in that position.
So Connor's trying to get it up over to Dudiak. Gagno heads it down, trying to find Lucas. And it's picked up by the Cougars, Reed LaValle.
Nice lead ball. Pennington.
Yeah. McCarthy's a strong young man. So when you take him down, you had to put a little bit into it.
He plays so hard that he often gets banged up. So the trick this year for him will be to remain healthy and still be as aggressive as he can be. Dion Darza, nice little chip,
Giving
looking
up.
for Hansen.
Hansen gets it in.
It's in.
Riley Hansen scores. But there's the experience of Riley Hansen. As that ball came into traffic, he was able to control it and just one-time it into the back of the net.
Yeah, controlled possession, nice easy placement of the ball in the back of the net, and a real nice chip to record his unofficial first varsity point, Joey Diandarza.
Right. Well, that was a nice play by the Eagles. So at the 7:40 mark left in the first half, the Eagles go up 1-0, and we can talk about last night. Calvin wasn't here. I don't think you were here for this game, Calvin. But the Eagles lost to the Indians last night in a friendly, 3-0. But it was brought to our attention that the Eagles had 2 goals called back, I'm assuming from offsides, and they missed a penalty kick. They said the game was fairly even, but at the end of the day, Prue put 3 in, we didn't. So Prue came out ahead 3-0 last night in the friendly here at the George Brendler Field.
Yeah, and again, Coach McAuliffe and every coach that's playing is going to tinker a bit with their preseason lineups. And I know from, like you say, from what I've understood, I wasn't able to be here, but it was an evenly played game. Just the scoreboard didn't reflect that. But at the end of the day, score is what you're looking for,
Right.
regardless. So
hats off to Prue.
hats off to Prue. And I'm not sure. I know Northeastern scrimmaged Enosburg yesterday, and I don't have an idea
really?
what the score was there.
Well, I'll get that from Nick here in a second. Hey, Coach. Coach Trombley, what was your game with the Enosburg yesterday? 2-2. And there we have it. It was 2-2 against Enosburg.
There's a
There's
shot.
another shot just wide.
That was Gagno.
Yeah. He'd like to have that one back.
Didn't get everything on it. Kind of dribbled
No.
off the side of his foot, I think.
So we got Santor back in, and coming into the game is Jesse Blaze.
Jesse Blaze and Jack Sweet, and coming off as is going to be Santor and Dudiak.
What number is that? That's not 14?
That is 14. I think we have two 14s.
It must be
perhaps.
214. Okay.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Yeah, Jack Sweet is the other 14.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
Well, I was looking at the number. I go,
Yeah.
I got this. Lee wrote the number down there for
Yeah.
me. So coming over to the near side, 5:40 left in the first half. Chazy up 1-0 on a Riley Hansen goal on a beautiful feed from Joey
Dan Darza, who he's
Darza.
coach has now shifted him back to right fullback to see how he does. I mean, he's a strong possession player and he's fast, so that's a good move for him. See what he does back on the defensive side of the ball.
Gotta get rid of it quick. You got too many on you.
So for the tournament, Lee, the Frankie Garrow,
Nice ball by Ross.
yeah, it goes through, cleared out by McCarthy. The if I don't know if you had time to look and see how many years that tournament's been going on, and if we can get who the winners are those past years.
I will have that for you. I don't have it on.
I wouldn't
now,
expect you to know on top of your head,
but I
but
sure will.
between you and your brother, I figure that. And your brother's back East Coast, I hear.
He is, yeah. His dermatology office opened Monday in Plattsburgh,
Oh, nice.
and so he works for.
Is it his company?
He works for Four Seasons Dermatology. He's
Okay.
a physician's assistant, obviously specializing in dermatology. He's located in the old Family Drug Building behind Starbucks.
Oh, nice. Okay. Now, was he doing that out in California?
Yeah, that's what he's done ever since graduation. He's worked in Connecticut and in California, and now back in Burlington for a little while this last few months, and now in Plattsburgh.
Now, is this the same company, or he was searching for a different company?
He was
here?
looking to move, and this opportunity presented itself. He was looking for a different company.
Oh, okay.
And Four Seasons is a small company owned by a couple of docs and really down to earth, really good practice. He's very pleased. Very,
Nice.
very pleased.
I'm sure he's glad to be back home too.
Yeah. And mom and dad are probably more glad.
Now, was he here for the winter last year?
No, he just moved back here, I want to say May.
Okay, so he may not feel the same way come
Yeah,
February.
he doesn't. Yeah, he's not seen a winter really in 12 years, 13 years. As evidenced by his little convertible sports car, he's gonna have to buy himself a winter car.
So I assume he drove the car across country to get back home?
He shipped it.
He owed you to ship it, okay.
Yeah.
Big switch to Sam.
So we're at the 3-minute 22-second mark, and the ball is controlled by Bedard. He sends it through. Drake goes off his foot and got away with a handball, it looked like. Down to the far side, it's LaValle. Sweet going for the ball. Nice play by Bedard. Onto the feet of Ross. Ross gets the shot off.
Nice goal.
And what a shot
That
by
was a-
Chase Ross. And that ball was just bending.
That was a knuckler.
Oh,
Like,
beautiful
to me.
shot by
Yeah.
Chase Ross. He ties this game up at 2:49 in the first half. And he was out from some distance, too.
Real nice shot, top of the 18. It looked knuckling and, like you said, veering off to the left, to the right of Huckrow. But a quality shot there by one of the leading scorers coming back from last year. And a nice
Yeah.
feed by Lucas Bedard, who's been very strong today in his central fullback position here for the Cougars.
Exactly. I'm trying to see Lucas's. He hit a couple assists last year, so he's no stranger to it.
No, he's anchoring the defense back there, at least controlling a lot of that midfield play.
So the ball comes up off the head of McCarthy. I'll get that name right. Dean Darza.
Go on, White, go on. White throw.
Nearing the end of this first half, 1-1 score, even though we can't keep score because it's a scrimmage.
Right. Well, a friendly, as they call it.
Oh, yeah.
Lee.
Unofficial score.
And, Lee's all into this Tampa Bay Montreal Expo's coming back. He's got his Expo hat on.
Calvin
And,
usually has his also, but not,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
tonight.
I mean, I think Lee would see a game or two if they came back.
No question.
No question about it, for sure. Hopefully that does happen.
Well, it's an interesting dynamic. I don't know how well it would work to split a team between two cities, but at least it has Montreal in the conversation, if only to try to get Tampa a new stadium.
I saw somewhere where I read that Major League Baseball wants to expand to 2 more teams, and it was Montreal and Portland. is what I saw. Now, whether that happens, who knows, but Montreal is in the conversation.
Good run.
So we're under a minute. There has been no substitutions to kick in that new rule.
Now, that only occurs in the second half.
Only
half.
the second half.
Yep, only of the game.
Okay.
Overtime doesn't count. It would probably for the girls.
Yeah,
Because the girls they don't play sudden win, sudden
Right.
victory, sudden death. They play the full time.
right.
So boys, it doesn't matter because it's sudden death, sudden victory, however you want to call it. Golden goal.
So the ball goes up over to Ryan O'Donnell. Sweet sends it up over to Connors. And now cleared out. So it looks like this first half will end in a 1-1 tie.
Jesse Blaze over there, he's got a motor that never stops for Chazy and defended nicely by Supernaw. So halftime,
Halftime, this game, 22 years in the making.
1-1.
We're at halftime.
No overtime if it's tied. We've established that already.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use it.
I guess you can find Perry. He's over there somewhere.
He's a big Chase Ross fan.
It was his grandkid.
I know.
Yeah, we're starting the second half, and the first half, Lee, was pretty evenly matched, and the score shows that.
Yeah, I thought it was well played by both squads for their, really first real scrimmage, second scrimmage, excuse me. Two real nice goals, one on each side. Chase Ross, a real nice goal for Northeastern, and Riley Hansen, nice goal on a setup from Dean Darza. Bedard had a nice setup on Ross's goal, so I think coaches, they had a lot to say, obviously, at halftime because they're still tinkering, but they got to be pleased with the efforts on both sides.
Right. But as we know, it all counts starting Thursday.
Right, that's when your stats count, your record counts, the whole shebang. So this is just a glorified practice, really. Gives you a chance to, obviously, game situation and that sort of stuff.
Well, you know what's interesting is they literally start preseason Monday, a week ago yesterday, and you only do it for a week, then you're into two friendlies, and then it starts.
Yep.
So it's really not a big preseason.
Not at all. It's quick, and the preseason tournaments, the advent of those more so now than back when you and I played, that is a big thing. You get to play some different class schools that you don't get a chance to play during the regular season, and it kind of is a measuring tool to see where you're at that point in the preseason.
Sure. What's amazing to me is that it just seemed like we were celebrating the class of 2019, and here we are, 2 months later.
Uh-oh.
Well, that would be.
That's Hansen down holding his ankle.
Yeah, well, hopefully you can walk that off. It looked innocent enough. It's like he was trying to kick for the ball.
Sometimes those are the worst type when they, it's a tendon or something that snaps, or he's able to jog it off, it looks like, for the time being.
Well, you work for a pharmacist. There must be some kind of pill that can take care of that.
No, not really. I don't know. Well, you need some of that magic spray they come on the soccer field with, and they spray, and then all of a sudden, instead of not needing an amputation, they can play. We need Thompson out here with that magic spray.
That's right. Coach Thompson. Now, how did the JV girls do yesterday? Did we hear?
I don't know. I recall seeing Peru score one goal, but that's all I saw. From this vantage point here, it was difficult to see in the old varsity field. But I did see Peru score one goal. I didn't hear Chazy score any. But doesn't not to mean they didn't.
Right. So you have Drake sending the ball down the field, but it goes off the head of Hollister.
Now that's a borderline illegal throw.
I thought so too.
Kind of came from the side instead of right over the top of the head, which is the rule. Here's Luke Moser going outside for Jeremy Juneau, and Juneau couldn't corral it. It's going to be throw-in. far side.
Not bad. You feel that?
So, I mean, it's not a bad crowd tonight for a friendly.
No, I would say third full perhaps. Some standing room over there, and then like we mentioned earlier, they're training in the snack shack, so that'll be in full motion tomorrow night as the girls' preseason tournament starts off. Chazy's playing Saranac Lake, and the other game I believe is Beekmantown and Plattsburgh. I think
For what game?
for the girls.
Yeah, it is Beatontown Plattsburgh. And Saranac Lake, I think, is coming up for the first time.
It is. Yep, Saranac Lake's playing Chazy for the first time that I can ever remember.
Yeah. And the other thing for the girls, which we now know, is they lost a key player this year for the whole year in Langlois.
Kate
right?
Langlois tore her ACL this summer, and so she was a standout for them last year on the outside. She was an outside fullback. She was relentless in her attack and was a great server of the ball. So she'll be dearly missed. And of course, they lost quite a few players to graduation as well. But they've got some really nice young players that have come up, and they should have a good, interesting team to watch this year.
Nice, and I'm sure they're excited for tomorrow's game to start the year. And the tournament, the tournaments here, the fall tournament and the Frankie Garrow Memorial, really is a barometer because you have some really good teams that come here. Some of the better teams in the area
Now you're
that are going head to head.
In the girls' side, you're going to see Beekmantown be a real strong player again this year. They defeated Amsterdam in a scrimmage yesterday, 8-1.
Really?
Yeah. So
The Beatontown girls are that good.
they've got I can't recall the young lady's name, but she was their second leading scorer last year, and I think she may have been a sophomore.
Wow.
So she's going to be a force to be reckoned with. I can't recall her name, unfortunately.
We have Samuel Bolson coming into the game, so they're obviously brothers, I'm assuming, as well as Marcus Bedard.
Samuel Bolson, he's a tall boy.
Well, he's 11th, and Lucas or John, they're both 11th graders. Are they twins?
Perhaps. Calvin, are they twins?
I'm not sure. I know they're brothers, but I'm not sure. I'm not aware that they're twins.
Well, they could have been cousins too, I guess.
No, they're brothers,
They are
yeah.
brothers. Okay.
And the grades could also be incorrect. It's just
That's true,
that's
yeah.
what
Well,
that's what I was able to find.
Well, this is a friendly roster. It's not official.
Right.
Yeah.
Gagno with a handball.
Get back.
Direct kick now. Transition.
Oh, here
Nice
you
ball.
go.
Coming out is Huckrow.
Huckrow-
Gets a nice piece of it.
Hollister was there.
Away.
Chase Ross really playing well out there for the Cougars.
Yeah, he is.
Good work.
So it's nice to see Gabe Huckrow with the aggressive, and he's been loud back there, calling his ball, and when he calls it, he's coming for it. Made a couple one nice punch doing that, and just coming for that ball was the right play. And as you know, Joey, you're a keeper, and you come for that ball, you better get a piece of it.
Oh, if you're coming out, yeah. If you're making that call. So now sent forward by Bedard. And the beauty of having Calvin and TV, they can see the play develop in front of us.
They know their kids better than we do.
Yeah,
That's for
and
sure.
yeah. Yes, they do. But Hollister,
Another good chance. McCarthy clears it away nicely. So, as we mentioned, Connor McCarthy, and that was a dangerous. This Chase Ross right there again, roughly the same location that he scored his goal in the first half, just inside the 18. If he had a chance to put laces on that, that would have been an interesting save for Huckrow to have to make for the Eagles.
I mean, I'm watching Ross play, and he definitely has the potential to be an all-star for the Cougar team this year. He plays very well.
Juno on the far side, Jeremy Juno. Back to Connors, forward to Moser.
So Hanson with the short hair up over to Lucas. Heath Lucas goes down. He was sandwiched.
Yeah, they're playing advantage on that. And Lucas is pleading his case. He wanted the shot. Here's Moser.
Oh.
Hanson, little backhand.
Nobody's
If Dwyer was following up far post.
Yeah, Hanson figured Dwyer would be coming on the weak side.
It was a cheeky little play, though. Nice.
It was.
Nice.
It was. But again, this is a friendly. Dwyer learns from that he needs to go full bore toward that net.
Nice little hesitation play by Lucas with just a little bit of a long touch.
Nice control by McCarthy. Now he'll send it back up over to Dwyer. Oh, jeez. And Lucas, he's gone down a few times here.
That was a strong tackle there by Ross. Direct kick, dangerous spot here for Lucas.
Yeah, we'll see how this plays out. Oh, too far out. I didn't know if he was going over the far post. It almost seemed like he was pushing it to the outside, waiting for Hansen to come over.
Exactly.
So for the Eagles, we have Dallas Santor. No, there's the other 14, Lee. There's our other 14 out
Correct. That's the other. I was listening to the banter between Mr. Varon and Coach McAuliffe over here, trying to see. I know Rob was upset with a foul.
He's just working them now for October. That's what he's doing. It starts right at the friendly. You start working these officials for October. So here comes Lucas. A nice job defensively by the Cougars.
Drake using the body on Ross and McCarthy clearing it away.
McCarthy's strong back there. If
He can stay healthy, he's going to do well.
Yeah, he can do very well back there. I like the defensive lineup so far, what I'm seeing.
It's and again, he's got Joey D'Andarza on the right side now. He's a real skilled player, but he wins a lot of balls. And here's a good chance for Ross.
Play by Ross. Here he goes. There's number 2.
No chance for Hooker.
No. That was absolutely gorgeous.
Nice shot. Nice, well-placed shot.
Yeah.
Near post.
I don't think any goalie stood a chance on that one.
No, sir.
And
Nice goal.
Another beautiful goal by Chase Ross, his second one.
I did not see who assisted that. I know it was a good lead ball, but
I don't remember who it was.
they won't announce a
No.
assist tonight, so
No.
I'll have to watch the instant replay. Reverse it on your YouTube.
So, we go back to the 97 game. The Eagles scored first, and the Cougars came back with 2. 22 years later.
That's right.
The same scenario. The names have
The
changed.
names have changed.
Heck, those kids weren't even born back then.
No question. Weren't even thought of.
No. When you start talking like that, Lee, we're showing our age.
I know, right?
We're showing our age. So it's number 12, Reed LaValle, yeah. So we're at the 28-minute mark, and the Cougars, who were trailing 1-0 at one time, now lead 2-1. And Aiden Suprana getting ready to check in here for the Cougars. So, Lee, what are you picking up out there that as you survey this? Anything you see the Eagles can do better, or the Cougars can do better? There seems to be a lot of midfield play going on.
There's a lot of midfield play. I think for Chazy, at least, more use of the wide. They're not as wide as I think Coach McAuliffe would like them to be.
Mm-hmm.
They're outside midfielders, especially. The Cougars, I like their distribution so far is nice, and when they get an opportunity to finish, especially Chase Ross, he's done the job.
Yeah, he's taken advantage of his opportunities.
Their defense seems stout. Chazy really hasn't had a chance to get past them. There's been no through balls, which Chazy's running on back there. Their positioning is good. They're keeping their shape in the defensive end.
And other than that goal by Hansen, the Bolson really hasn't been challenged in net.
No. Drake, forward to Hansen. I see there's not a lot of movement here. They need to get up faster, transition faster.
So they're trying to find the feet of Moser. Nice cut by Lucas.
Good
Beautiful
ball.
play. Dwyer pushes it back. There's a
Moser.
shot. Oh, Moser just misses. That was a nice opportunity. Nice play by Lucas to Dwyer back to Moser.
We could see it develop here because of our vantage point, but that shows the vision of Heath Lucas. He's always looking for those through balls like that, and Dwyer's starting to figure that out. If you can figure that out, make your runs, time your runs, he's going to put that ball in your foot 9 times out of 10.
Right. They weren't rewarded with the goal, but it was a very nice sitting up from this advantage point. So 26 minutes left in the second half. I've learned that from, well, it is in the game, Calvin, because there is no overtime. But it's not a game. In the friendly. You're right. Well, that's in soccer, Calvin, soccer terms, you got to call it the way it is.
Well, here on the pitch, we don't talk like that.
The scrimmage. The Northeastern fans are fierce. They go, we scored 2 goals. They aren't shown on the scoreboard.
Right? Yeah.
I say that in jest, folks. So we have Tyler Gay. So Calvin, are they doing a good job being neutral tonight? Thank you. Calvin has warned me, Joey, you better be neutral up there. Of course, I'm a Cougar graduate, right?
Right.
So
I was curious which way he was asking you to be neutral for.
Neutral for everybody.
But I mean, like, which way you would lean if you were.
Yeah, right. You guys are the 2 biggest cheerleaders that Chazy has.
You got me confused with Joe Poisson.
Joe's so into the game, he gets so frustrated, he leaves for the show's done. He did that at one of the Final Fours. We had to do the post game. I think it was who the heck did they lose to? It was one of their rivals down there. They lose the game. I gotta do the post game. I look, his headset's gone. He's gone. I go, like, where'd you go? I was too upset. Seriously? God, who was that we had the rivalry, that we had games like
Poland?
No. Then they weren't they weren't Class D anymore.
Faith Heritage?
No, Faith Heritage was the first team we played in the. Oh God, it will come to me. They came back and we had them 3-0, and they came back and beat us that year.
Oh, that was the.
Who was that? We came back and beat them the following year. Oh God, what was that team? I can't believe it. I can't remember.
I'll have to look it up.
Well, we can ask the boys down there. Hey Rob, what was the team that had Kranick at the state level? Santor made the big save. Hamilton, that was it. Okay, it was Hamilton.
Oh yeah, Hamilton. That's bad memories. I don't think Rob wants to talk about that.
Oh well, that's all right. But I will say, I mean, there's still 23 minutes left, but if the Eagles come up on the short end here, when do you remember them starting the season with friendlies?
Of course, yeah. I mean, and you want to win. You want to win every time out. That's just
Right.
the way any competitive team is. And even if the action is even on the field, or you've had the better of it and you still come out lost,
Yeah.
that's a shot to your confidence. And sometimes that's a good thing if you have a really strong team to have a little bit of a shakedown.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want to come into the season with 2 losses, right off the bat. Even though you've put good efforts out, you still want to put a W on the board.
Right. And there's still a lot of time left here. I mean, we got 22 and a half minutes left.
Certainly.
And guys like this can make change it in a heartbeat.
He just, no, don't you?
Sean's talking to him.
He just lost his footing, I think. Throw in for the Cougars on the far side, and here we have wholesale changes. 6 players coming in for the Cougars.
Wow. Can we get them all? 5, 7, 10. Chase Ross, O'Donnell, and Pennington. 18 went out there, Hollister.
14, I saw that's James Molinsky. I think that's the first time we've called that. He's been out there. The first time I called his name. A couple of changes for Chazy at the next opportunity. Jesse Blaze and Kyle Barcombe,
Owen, he's gonna look for an outlet out here.
along with Nathan Pilon and Jack Sweet. And we got Rob McCall's going to make his wholesale changes as well.
Here they come.
And a couple names that we haven't called yet out there for the Eagles. Ben Dickinson, number 4. Kyle Barcombe. Nathan Pilon, number 9.
Number 1.
Number 1 is going to be Malachi Hunyor.
Hey, Joey in Dallas.
Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They only got 9 players. That 10. 3,
They got 10 out there?
6, 9, 10. They got 11 players thrown in. Okay.
8,
Not
9.
enough to play.
2.
Maybe not in the positions they want to be in, but
We got 3, 5, 7. 3, 4.
there's Hunyor trying to
Oh,
get
yeah, they
around.
got
Owen! Turn to Owen! Turn to Owen!
Now Ross.
Yeah, send it.
Yeah,
Send it.
Ross having a great game.
All right, good ball. Get right back to
For
him.
the Cougars.
Come back. Right back to him. Come on, Chase, come on, Chase, come on, Chase.
Jesse Blaze. Trying to get past Ross.
Our side is Sweet. So on to the feet of Reed LaValle. Pushing it back.
Owen,
Bedard.
good ball. Come on, Owen, get ahead on this.
Nice off the back side of Owen Hollister. Gets his own head ball.
Good work back there by Drake. He's done an okay job back there in the fullback position. There's Nathan Pilon trying to stop Ross. Ross looking for a left-footed shot, and oh my, just missed upper 90 with that nice left-footed shot.
He's dangerous.
He is. And Reagan Dudiak checking in for Heath Lucas.
So we're under the 20-minute mark. And absolutely a beautiful night. Mickey Con is over by the snack shack for anybody wondering for those wonderful Mickey fries. Tim Ryan with him. So it's Ross. Ross has the ball knocked away by Blaze.
Touch outside up here. Touch out here.
Blaze and Ross battling.
I see Sarah Gagne over in the food booth. She was here all winter long and during basketball games and pretty much by herself selling food at the basketball game.
Yeah.
She did a good job too.
Yeah, no, Sarah, she's definitely a strong supporter. Of course, she was a strong player in her day.
Yeah, she was.
Multi sport athlete.
Absolutely. Great athlete.
Pennington on the far side being chased down by Kyle Barcombe. Jack Sweet sliding tackle.
So good effort by both teams tonight.
Yeah, I think so. It's been an even match. Both teams have had a couple chances. Northeastern's had more chances,
Yeah.
and that's why they lead in the scoreboard. No, there was nothing that Gabe Huckrow could have done on either one of those goals.
Oh no, no, those are beautiful
And
goals.
the same with John Bolson. He couldn't have stopped that shot from Hanson either. I don't think. Here's McCarthy getting to that ball.
That doesn't surprise me. He's an aggressive player. Does a nice job.
Bedard now, dangerous spot for a shot here. Good save.
Nice play by Huckrow. And Huckrow does have that goalie body.
Yeah, tall, lean,
Yep.
left-footed.
You know, Calvin, I've been looking there. That ball girl's been sitting on the job there for quite a while now.
Well, nothing's coming her way.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's a good point.
Unless you feel more comfortable over there. Okay,
So right now, in the last, 5 minutes or so, Northeastern has definitely controlled the field. tempo of the game, I would say, it'd be safe to say.
Yep, I would agree with that.
But again, these kids can learn from this. Even watching this again, they can learn on, like right now they're bunched up, okay? And they're going to learn that separation.
Yeah, keeping your shape is a big thing, and for both these coaches certainly, and that's going to be, and that comes with having, for Chazy's side at least, having a younger team. Northeastern Clinton, it'd be perhaps just because it's early in the season, and they'll get their act together as far as Coach Trombley wants them to be. Here's a nice move by Dudiak.
Yeah,
there.
Dudiak's doing a great job.
Bunches up, tries to Hunyer. He's got the ball now, taken away there by Molinsky.
So how many, do you know offhand how many JV players, moved up because it was time for them to move up?
I would say a great number of them are sophomores, so it would be time for them.
So a lot of them are sophomores on this team.
I think so.
So they actually could have spent another year at JV level.
Perhaps. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's how that works.
Okay.
And I think the only underclassman is Moser. I think he's ninth, either
Okay.
8th or 9th. I think 9th, perhaps.
Ryan out wide. Ryan wide.
Ross
Yeah.
looking to get it through.
He's trying to get on the feet of O'Donnell. And O'Donnell had 6 goals last year in assists.
Straight up now. Marcus, get ready.
Stays in, and defensively, it was Pilon.
Pilon knocked it off the end line. It's going to be a corner kick for the Cougars. Chase Ross going over to take it. It's Coach Trombley's got a very deep team. Lots of experience on his bench even.
And it comes across.
Nice service,
Sure
left-footed.
was. Went off the head of Bedard, far side.
Fourteen and a half minutes remaining in this friendly at George Brendler Field. This August 27th, 2019. First meeting between Northeastern Clinton and Chazy in
22 years.
22 years.
And the last time they played, it was 2-1 Northeastern, but that went to double overtime.
Double overtime.
This game we know is not going to go to overtime.
Correct.
That's been decided ahead of time. And it makes sense. Why would you do that?
We were talking about some of the rules, the scrimmage or friendly rules that you have to follow. And I didn't realize you can play 100 minutes of soccer if you like. You don't have to play 90 or 80. You can play anything less than 110. 110, I think, I don't know, less than 100.
During
That's-
preseason.
That's the rule. Yeah.
Okay.
You can split it up any way you want it. If you wanted 30-30-30 or 20-20-20-20-20 or
Right,
whatever
right.
you wanted to do.
Okay. So then I guess my question is, who monitors all this?
Probably the honor system.
The honors,
right?
I would think so, yeah.
They'll be checking the Hometown Cable Network YouTube
yeah.
channel, probably.
Yeah. Well, Calvin has a contract with them. You know, they're allowed to come in and search his videos out.
Where's the push?
For a nice donation, they do whatever they want, right, Calvin?
They're online.
You do whatever you want.
Pennington, cleared away by
So you do. So you're not on cable now, right, Calvin?
I'm on Mondays and Tuesdays, 4-hour program.
You're allowed to do that now. Weren't you? Wasn't there something going? Wasn't there something going on
My
with
paid
this,
channel. Paid channel's gone.
the paid channel? Okay.
So now it's public access, and we're on one 4-hour program. Runs 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock on Monday, and 7 o'clock again on Tuesday. Same program.
There's a shot wide. So what channel is that?
Channel 30.
Channel 30. Just anybody can get that, right?
Anybody on cable? Yeah.
Oh, it's Spectrum 30. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like W.
No.
What do you get on the rabbit ears?
No.
Okay. Now, do you have a station in Plattsburgh too?
I don't believe they've been running it. You need somebody to sign for it, and the regulations now, you're signing your firstborn away. They made it. They're making it so nobody wants to do it.
Okay. And you know what, Lee? I think it's a perfect time because to talk about hometown cable, and if somebody wants to make a donation, I think you would agree it's a great investment into the North Country.
No question. I mean, for countless years, how many years, Calvin?
36.
36 years. Calvin has been attending your children's sporting events, assemblies, your town parades, board meetings, graduation, you name it. Anything of historic nice shot from distance there again by Bedard. Good save by Huckrow. So, in short, Calvin's there for the communities, and he can't operate without donations. And so, if you're so inclined, he's more than happy to accept your donations.
Now, one of the ways you could mail it to him at 1477 Ridge Road in Champlain, New York, 12919. And then on his website, I think you do offer PayPal, right, Calvin? Yep. So there's a PayPal account. Make a donation. You know, you see people that will make monthly donations. Some do yearly, some do bi-monthly. But
most do never.
And Calvin says most do never. Well, I guess if you look at it percentage-wise, I guess you'd be 100% right on that.
So,
but you do appreciate the ones that do.
Yeah, especially now since that's all the income we have. No more advertisers, so this is being done out of the kindness of my heart.
Is there anything that, I don't know, are you able to run any ads on your website for the advertisers?
That's something I might look into in the future, but right now we're not.
Okay. And this was just the cable station playing hog, is that it?
No.
Oh, I see those commercials and stuff. I don't know, I just threw that out there.
No. They're just doing what they can do.
Well, that was very diplomatic, Calvin. I
Well,
never.
this is still going on cable.
I never.
Sounds like a politician.
It's almost like he's running for office or something. I wasn't expecting that answer from Calvin. Very well versed in that answer, Calvin. That was good.
So the website, right, hometowncablenetwork.com.
That's what it is, right?
Yep.
Okay. So.
And, yeah, PayPal. Everybody's got PayPal nowadays, and you can also subscribe to his YouTube channel.
That's free.
Free, yeah, that's free. But you can still send a donation.
Well, at the end of the day, I mean, this is Calvin's livelihood, and his time, obviously, his vehicle, his gas. So
it helped me in the I went to look for a game from 1996, and sure enough, there was. So I sat and watched it for an hour and a half, and he gets my donation at least once a year. So
yeah, that's right. There's no more advertising going on. All right, I guess I got to look into my advertising or my book to make a donation here. You had quite a few businesses, didn't you?
Had
Oh,
local businesses, and,
Yeah, that's what I mean. I didn't
Yeah.
expect you to have national, but
Well, there are national, but they weren't locally owned. I stopped wasting my time trying to get them to advertise.
Right. Here's an opportunity. And the goalie took control.
Chazy put a lot of their starting players back in for a last pitch effort here to tie the game. Dwyer battling there with Ross again.
Ball on ball.
Here's Hansen.
So two quality players facing each other, Hansen and Ross. Connors over to the far side. Darza. But it's controlled by the Cougars.
Nice play by Bedard. Smart play. Move it outside. Small ball. Good movement there by the Cougars. Here's McCarthy now. Losing it. And now a chance for transition.
And hustling is Luke Anktil, far side, or near side, I should say. Sending it across. And Huckle goes down. But some nice movement by the Cougars.
A lot of hands on body there, though. That could have easily, in a regular season game, could have been awarded a penalty shot.
Nice punt by Huckrow. But it's controlled by Supra now.
Got Owen wide.
Gagnon forward to Moser. Moser forward to Juno. But there's Bedard again. He's been
Yeah.
very strong today.
He's a strong player. So the Cougars, most players back. That shows the experience they've had from last year, playing quite well.
They'll be one of the stronger teams in the Class B.
I would think so.
In the Northern Soccer League.
I would think so.
A lot of teams were hit hard by graduation. Saranac was hit hard.
We know what's going to be interesting this year is Boquet Valley.
Boquet Valley, which is the same ELW team that we've seen, just a name change.
Right, but I think that may even change more because now they're officially one. Like, I think there was still that kind of separation,
Yep.
you know, and now they've come together as one. I think that's going to work its way out with the athletes.
Good stick defensively there by Supernaw to take the ball away from Connors.
So we're under 6 minutes to go. And Lee and I have been, a little passive tonight on the game because, well, first off, we don't have a roster, but probably more than that, you can see the film with Calvin and kind of let you enjoy the game with us talking heads dominating it like we normally do, like we will
Yes.
as we move forward.
It's totally different, when, like what Calvin says, let the pictures do the talking.
Yeah. So we got the 5-minute mark.
4 more substitutes waiting to come on. Now we're at that magic number here where
Well, that's
the
right.
clock will
With the
have
lead,
to
they
stop
gotta
on this
stop it.
substitution when it comes in.
So that's what Nick Trombley's trying to play the new rule.
So they were there before the 5.
Well, they have, but they have to stop when they go in.
Yeah, but they were there before that.
No, I know that, but when
Now they have.
now they have to, yeah. So the next opportunity, we will see that rule come into effect.
Lucas has taken a couple hard shots
Yeah.
today out there.
Yeah, he has. Get up, stretch to that.
Well, we all know the heart he has, considering how he played in the.
Yeah.
Well, how many stitches? 28 stitches last year.
It was crazy. That was in the semifinal game.
Yep. And then he scores that amazing goal in the final.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive. That was a top 10 goal.
Come on, Luke.
Maybe top 3.
Definitely. Ross with a nice smart play. Ball on the ground, composed. That was Bolson switch field, I think. Now it's Anktel. Now, top of the 18, looking for LaValle, and good check back by
Lucas.
there. Turn.
All right, Hanson. So you have the duel. Hanson and Lucas.
That was a good smart play there to pull back.
Now trying to find Juno far side. Defensively, it's LaValle. Is that Mosier?
Yep. Three minutes, and here's your chance to substitute.
There we are. Clock stops. The rule is in effect.
For those tuning in late, new rule this year, last 5 minutes of the game, if the team that's leading at the time makes a substitution, the clock will now stop.
And the clock has started. So we are under the 3-minute mark. Nice play by McCarthy. That was like knee on knee.
Hanson now.
Hanson trying to get by the defense. Has Juno to the far side, but it was knocked away. And here comes O'Donnell. O'Donnell working his way down. Drake coming onto him. And Gagnon.
Here's LaValle, leading scorer
There
from
it is.
last year. Well wide. 2 minutes remaining here. 2-1 Northeastern Clinton leads. Both goals, Chase Ross. Chazy goal by Riley Hansen.
Chazy went up 1-0 in the first half. Late in the first half, it was Ross tying the game on a gorgeous shot. You have the times there, Lee?
Yeah, 7:41 left in the first half is when Hansen scored off the assist from Joey Deandarza. And then Chase Ross scored 5 minutes later with Lucas Bedard assisting. And then in the second half, about 30 minutes remaining in the second half, Ross puts the Cougars ahead, and I didn't get the assist on that one. It was a nice play and a super shot. And here's Bedard once again. Little back heel.
Yeah. Oh.
That'll get your heart ticking if you're the goalkeeper.
Yeah. So they're approaching the 1 minute mark.
Back, Ryan, back, Owen, back.
So 105, 104. Chazy has a chance, maybe one or two more rushes at best.
You know it's soccer season now. It's starting to get dark. Well, not dark, but it's dusk now.
Oh, yeah.
It's 7:30.
Yeah. There's a nice shot. Wide, but nice leg by Lucas.
And he'll be the one primarily taking your
Corners.
direct kicks this
Yeah.
year. Last year they had Justin Collins, who did a great number of those,
Yes.
unless they were within close range, and that's when Heath Lucas would step in. But looks like that'll be Heath's job this year for the most part. And I can see McCarthy taking some. He's got a nice strong leg as well.
Right. That's probably more around midfield or so, just into the offensive zone, that you'd probably see McCarthy do that.
And I mentioned it before, but Deandarza's had a nice game. He wins balls, and that's one thing that as a coach you look for.
Right.
Somebody that can win balls and
Yeah.
has good skill. So that does it here.
Yeah, a nice scrimmage, as Calvin calls it. We call it a friendly. Calvin calls it a scrimmage, but here nor there. It took 22 years in the making, and the Cougars, where they left off back 22 years ago, come back and win again 2-1. So the last 4 times that Chazy has played Northeastern over a 22-year span, the Cougars have come out
The
on top.
Cougars have come out on top.
Rob McAuliffe and me are the only two that are at both of those events.
Yes. And there you are.
22 years ago.
22 years later. And, as Calvin likes to say, well, I'm Joey Trombley along with Lee Barcombe and Calvin Castine. As Calvin likes to say, that's the way it was in beautiful downtown Chazy.